All right, welcome back. If you have continue on with this video, you should have yourself looking at something pretty similar to this, where you have at least 7 different sounds in your sampler library, having gone from your sampler, clicking the edit button right here, and then inputting by dragging it in the audio files that you have cut perfectly so that it starts as soon as you click a button. So we have our sounds here, but now we need to assign them to their specific assignment that is in the MIDI database. So let's start off with bass drum. We want our bass drum to be C1. So if we go back to our instruments here, I want to say this is probably the instrument I want to be my C1. So there's a few ways we can do it. You can actually drag the instrument where you want that sound to be assigned to that key. So it's right there, C1. However, we also need to go back up here and change the original assignment to C1. There it is. All right, so we have our bass drum. Simple enough. It's like I said, I can't stress enough that you can either manually change the range here, which will change this wherever the range is here. However, whatever the range is changed to, you want the pitch, the key pitch, to match that. So you want C1 on all 3 columns. So let's go to our next sound. Our next sound is going to be hand clap. All right, let's take a look at what instruments would sound like a hand clap. That actually sounds like hand clap. So let's do this. So we found our sound. We're going to go back. For you, I'll show you. Typically what I would do is minimize this so that I have access to it on the side. Actually don't need to even look at that right now, so we're going to minimize that. And there we go. We have our hand clap, and we want to take a look at where we want that to be. E flat. So E flat's going to be just above that. So if I type that in, it's going to be E, B, 1. And hit enter. As you can see, it didn't change. And here's one of the issues that you might run into. If you move the low range beyond its high range, it will not change. So you have to change the high range first in order for it to change the low range. Now you might be asking yourself, well, Mr. Gallant, you just put in E flat 1 and changed it to D sharp 1. E flat 1 and D sharp 1 are the same note. If we go down here, this note right here is E, and if I go down one step, this becomes E flat. This empty note right here, this is D, and if I go up one step, it's a D sharp. It's still the same thing. It's just how we approach it. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. All right, so we've changed the range here. However, our key pitch is still different. So we could change it to E flat 1, or we could go D sharp 1, and there we go. And now it's right there. We have 2 notes. So if you wanted to be creative, you can actually layer your sound. And so you have multiple different sounds playing at the same time. However, I don't want that. So we want to change this. We want to move that out of the way. Just move it there. All right. So we have our snare. Actually, that can stay there. Let's move this up. let's put that in with the cowbell. So you can see the cowbell here, it's A flat 2. So I'm going to move this, and as you move it, oh, no, I'm not, I'm changing the range. Come on. There we go. As you move it, you see up in the corner that it's changing the range. So this is our first note. So A flat 1 is the same as G sharp, or I should say A flat 2. It's going to be up here. It's going to be the same thing as G sharp 2. So there we go. Oh, but we have to change the key too. G sharp 2. There it is. All right, let's get the hi-hat. So I want a closed hi-hat and a pedal hi-hat. That's going to be F sharp 2. That sounds like a closed hi-hat. I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to move this to pedal hi-hat, which is going to be right there. No. A flat 2. G sharp, or G sharp 1. G sharp 1. Nice. Hit D sharp 1. G sharp 1. There we go. I'm going to change this. This is the instrument we didn't really know what to do. Let's put it in the crash cymbals. So crash cymbal is going to be C sharp 2. If you look at the list, there's C, C sharp, C2, C sharp 2 is going to be one above. So we're going to just drag this up there. And I'm actually, because it was a low sounding instrument in itself, I'm going to keep it there. And there we go. I like it. If I reversed it, I actually like that even more. You can reverse specific sounds. So we got a crash. If I were to change this down lower, so if I were to change the initial pitch, right now it's saying D sharp 1, which is right here, is where the pitch is. So because I am almost an octave higher, it's going to sound higher because it's playing, if you remember the melodic sampler, it's changing the pitch to match what's going on here. So it's changing the pitch to match what's here based off of that. So if I lower this, if I go to G, 0, it's even higher. And with that, we have our percussion sampler. We're going to X out of it, and it's going to ask us to save. I'm going to save. And that's that. After you've done all that, you can assign your percussion sampler by choosing it from the menu here to any MIDI file you choose. And that's what I would like for you to do, is to create a MIDI file with your melodic sampler, where you have a melody being played with whatever you chose as your melodic sampler, and then creating a drummer track, and then moving that drummer track file into the track with your percussion sampler. With that being said, good luck and have fun.